Welcome back to the Pesky Report, brought to you by Beyond the Monster, with a very special bonus episode today. Super excited to be with you. I'm your host today, Matthew, and I've got a special co-host as well, a guest co-host today. It's Corbin from Red Seat Radio. We've had him on a couple of times at this point, and excited to have you on. Corbin, how you doing?
I'm doing great, man. I'm excited to be here. I love coming on Pesky Report. Ton of fun over here.
Absolutely. We love having you. Appreciate it every time you lend your ear and your voice, of course, and really just your red microphone. That's really the main reason why
That's what
we ask
everyone
you to
comes
come
to
on
see.
here. Yeah. Yeah. We appreciate that. But the main reason we are here is we do have a very special guest. It's an honor and a privilege to be able to interview a staff member of the Boston Red Sox today. We have an official ball attendant and Mr. Luis Vasquez with us. How are you doing today, Luis? Thank you so much for taking the time to join us on the Pesky Report.
I appreciate it. I'm fired up after that intro. That was pretty good. Drone shots and everything. Thanks for having me on. I appreciate it, really.
Thanks, man. Yeah, Tom Caron, he said when he saw that intro that it gave him a little bit of PTSD because he said there's a tarp on the field in a bunch of the shots, and he said every time I see the tarp on the field, it makes me think I have to go into rain delay coverage. He's like, I don't. He's like, I can't do that. So we might be tweaking the intro.
People don't really think about that, right? He probably has no script for that. You just kind of gotta go. You just do what you need to do.
I think he said it was like 18 rain delays in 2023, I believe it was. Insane.
Yeah.
Insane.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, we've got a lot of questions for you today. I think I wanted to know if you could just start us off with a little bit about your background. How did you first get into baseball? Whether that's just watching it, becoming a fan, what was your baseball story? And then can you kind of walk us through how that led to you ending up working for the Boston Red Sox?
Yeah, definitely. I appreciate you asking about that. And it is something that I hold with me to this day in what I do. So really, I fell in love with baseball growing up in a low-income household. My dad would put on the games to pass time, and I wasn't really interested at first, but he would explain to me, he would make sure I could join him and understand what was going on, what players were what, and who would do certain things and what aspects of the game I should learn about or know about. And so really little by little, I started to get interested in baseball, which led to naturally, like probably all of us, wanting to play. And so I then developed myself into a pitcher, and I played a lot of infield, shortstop, second base, third base. Pitching was my favorite thing. I idolized Pedro Martinez. So
Nice.
it is like just super cool to see all these guys around from the past and the present. Fenway, the Red Sox, they do a great job of that, of just having it be a melting pot of Red Sox culture. It's not just about what we put on the field. So I love being around that. It's the Red Sox. It's the best. And so I didn't get many opportunities to go to Fenway Park, even though I grew up and still live in Cambridge, which is right there. So I'm always reminded of baseball, Red Sox, Fenway, because the bright lights are right there. You see it from across the river every night. And I remember going one time for the first time and bringing my glove. So I was one of those kids, and I just knew I needed to leave with a baseball. I was going to get one because I was ready. A lot of kids really just go with that mentality, like, I'm leaving here with a baseball. That's all I'm going for. I don't care if they win, they lose, whatever it is. So I went there with that mindset. We were, I believe, grandstand 17, if I have it correct, right kind of, diagonal from home plate. And we had just moved down. It was like middle to end, in the game, probably like seventh inning. I'm just throwing that out there. Don't know for sure. And we moved down to some better seats right below us.
Mm-hmm.
And literally the second we settle into those new seats, a foul ball is hit and goes right to where we were sitting and hits the exact seats where we were. And that, oh my God, that's something that is in like the pit of my stomach. And I've carried that for years. And I left there super upset, not visibly. I didn't make drama. I didn't act up or anything. And there was no tantrum, but I've held on to that for years, for so many years. And so when I started with the team in 2007, which is crazy to think about and look back on, and how different the team was and everything. 07 I started, and then I realized I got to know the people who manage the ball attendants. And in 2008, I asked if I could do that, and I was told no. Cool, it's all good. I offered. All right. 2009 came along. I offered again, like just as nicely as I could, and it was no. They were cool. They were all set. Not needed. I understand. It's all good. And then 2009 is when there was a need to fill in for someone, and they remembered that I asked. So it's okay to be told no. So I tell people all the time, it's okay to be told no when you want to do something or you want something, because then you plant that bug in people's ears, right? And so they remembered that. And so they came back to me and said, hey, would you mind filling in? And it was like the most casual thing ever, but to me it was like the biggest piece of news I could have ever received, because literally my Red Sox journey is I need to get a baseball. And so then all of a sudden I got to fill in. I got to be a ball attendant. I got to put on this prestigious, historic uniform that I do not take for granted every time I put it on. And now I'm just so honored to be the guy who gives out the baseballs. I missed out on the baseball before. I almost had it. It's so rare to leave there with a baseball, and now I just give them out, and I scan for kids, and I make sure to break down that fourth wall, like in the movie, right? You can't interact with the movie and vice versa, but you go to a stadium, you go to an arena, and you wish you could interact with the players, right? You wish you could get to know them. You wish you could be a part of the game somehow. So I really make it a point to scan for kids, scan for people here from other countries, scan for hardcore fans in general, and make people feel seen. Like that to me, that's very important, because I think about what I wanted as a kid. And so I try to give that to everyone, to be that person right in between, that median, right between the game and the fan base, is a pretty unique platform to have, which I don't take for granted. And so that's why I just try to go all out and share that when I'm there with everyone all around me. I go up and down. It's very rare to see me sitting in between innings, just staying by my bucket. Like I'm not into that. I want to go and interact. I want to make moments. I want people to leave happy, whether it's a high five, a photo, some dirt. Don't tell anyone. A foul ball.
Good thing this isn't recorded.
Right there, yeah. Don't tell anyone. So whatever I can do to make people feel seen, feel special, have their maybe their first game or their birthday game just a little bit better, that's what I try to do. That's what I go for, because I look back, I don't know if the games I attended growing up, we won, we lost. I have no idea. I can't tell you that, but I can tell you when I got a wave, when I got a wink, right? When you got things like that, that is what stands out. So I try to give as much as possible to share the experience. That's my background. And really, I've been doing this from that point in 2009 or 10. I did this on and off. I was also a Red Sox ambassador, which is a part-time front office role. And being an ambassador, you are in the yes business. You want to make people's visit to Fenway as special as possible. So sometimes with security, right, their job is to patrol and make sure everything is in order and following directions. But then ambassadors come along, I feel like, and we're like, no, but we can make that happen. We can make you happy, right? So I'm so proud to have that foundation from the way I grew up, from my Fenway experiences and my background as a Red Sox ambassador. So since about 2018, I've been doing only the ball attendant role without being an ambassador. And to me, I'm able to just bring all of my experiences, roll it into this one position with the team, and to make it as special as possible, because I want to go out my way. I've always had this number 20 seasons, which is next season, as kind of like riding into the sunset my way. And this is it.
That's awesome.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, that's it. Wow. That was an incredible backstory. I'll be honest with you. It was like a full-length movie. I loved it.
Thank you. I feel like I was talking too much, so I try to just bring up the caboose at the end. So thank you.
Luis, could you do us a favor? I feel like people hear ball attendant, they think one specific thing, but I feel like there's so much more to your job that goes into being a ball attendant, especially with a team as historic as Boston Red Sox. Can you sort of explain what a, maybe game to game duty is like, maybe, a week to week type thing as well?
Yeah, definitely. And I'm happy you asked that. We don't just show up and shag foul balls. There's a lot more to that. So when we get there pretty early on, get there maybe if it's a 7 o'clock game, 7:10, we'll get there around maybe 5. I try to get there a little earlier. For me, I like to kind of settle in mentally, physically. I like to go around, say hello to everyone, have my own routines going, check in with folks, go and change. Then we have our meetings, which are very important because in our meetings, we discuss the pregame ceremony script. So whatever you hear being said over the PA, we have the script page by page for that. And we go through it, we comb through it. We're looking for names. We're looking for logistics to be aware of. It's just a very detail oriented process, the pregame ceremony aspect of going to the games that we prepare for, because then we go down to the field and we execute. We then are helping to corral guests. We're helping and are tasked with finding the correct guests who are going to be highlighted during ceremonies. And that could be anyone from community leaders to a kid who's done something special to a celebrity to someone higher profile, politician. Just you never know who you're going to meet, cross paths with when you go to Fenway. And that to me is so cool to be able to talk to people up and down the ladder, left to right. It's just a really special part of the Fenway experience for me. And we do that. We then are on a tight schedule with cues and timings. We wear earpieces that everyone has their own way of putting them on. For me, I like to run the wire down through my shirt, and then we stick the walkie-talkie on wherever it fits. For me, it's like near my back pocket. And then we have an earpiece, we have a microphone. There's all these wires going around. I just do my best to hide them because I don't like them all out. And we then walk people to the mound for ceremonial first pitches. Sometimes we catch them. Sometimes the player does that. And all of that involves a lot of collaboration. So when you see us out there, maybe looking like we're having fun, which we definitely are, just know that there's a ton of voices in our ear, just telling us directions and move to the left or put them here or never mind or bring them up or what are they doing or what are you doing, right? So we make sure we try to just execute with perfection. And that to me is a Red Sox way. I've been able to just growing up my whole adult life with the Red Sox has really done me a lot of sharpening with my skills and tool sets out in the outer Fenway world as well. So I really credit Fenway and the Red Sox for that and the leadership that I've been able to look to and work with up and down the ladder. So then when the pregame ceremonies are wrapped, it's time to rip all that stuff off. We hand it off to someone who can bring it back to the office, which we're very thankful for. We get our gloves, and all of a sudden your mindset shifts. And once again, you're off pregame ceremonies, and you wait for the players to take the field, and you take your positions. For me, I like to start on the third base side. That to me is routine because I like to get it over with. And that's it. There's no special meaning. There's no other reason for it. It's just I like to get it over with because it's the hot corner. They come hard, they come fast. And then I can go on the first base side for the rest of the game and just kind of like, and they'll still come, but you're a little further out, you get more breathing room, and you've got to play the tarp sometimes, which can get a little tricky. There's not enough foul space. We're literally sitting on the foul line almost, right, when we're on the first base side. But third base side, you're like an extended third baseman there, and it's tough. It's tough. Yeah.
Now,
so that's how it goes.
So when do you switch? Is it, you said like halfway through the game, basically? Is that like when you rotate?
Yeah, we typically try to rotate middle of the fifth. That's usually the time we stick to. But sometimes, we've got a team of ball attendants. Some people don't like to switch, or maybe someone has friends or family on one side. So like, hey, do you mind if I stay here the whole game? Cool, no problem. So usually mid-5. That's the time we switch. It's a good time.
Sounds like it. Okay, so I actually kind of have a two-part question following up
no problem.
your answers there. Okay, so one, You talk about having to play the tarp and the hot corner over there. Do you practice at all? Is there like you go out there and I don't know, shag balls? You know what I mean? Do you do anything like that to prepare?
No, I wish I did. So the thing is, so I'm older. Clearly, I've dated myself telling you when I started. But to be a ball attendant, you need to have been, or preferably, I think how the selection process goes, are currently playing college softball or college baseball. So
Mm.
most of our ball attendants are pretty sharp. They're pretty good. They're ready. They're super worthy. They're much better than I am. And for me, when I'm out there, I tell people all the time, the routine, easy ground balls or whatever, however it may come your way, the slower ones, the routine ones are the harder ones because you've got all of these eyes on you. You've got
Mm.
MLB players watching how you do it. You've got people on TV probably seeing you and expecting you to make the play. You're in your own head. But if you get a scorcher, you get a rocket, that's instinct. You don't think about it.
Mm.
You're not, there's nothing going through your head. So those to me, I prefer those rockets coming my way because I'm out of my head, right? But I'm in my head when they're routine. And I have fumbled a routine ground ball. And I'm like, what am I doing? Like I'm super embarrassed. I'll play it off as much as I can, but it happens. The routine ones for me are tougher than the instinct ones, the harder ones.
And that was a very like professional baseball player answer.
it's it's really something. It's crazy to no one's there to go see me. No one's there to go see a ball attendant. No one's there to see the bat boy. No one's right. We're just playing supporting roles and we have a small slice of the pie platform, as I mentioned before, to keep fans happy, but also to help to keep the game moving. And so that part I think is pretty cool and pretty unique to keep an MLB game moving, right? And I think the part that that is also equally as tough is when the ball is hit, you can't just chase it, you can't just go for it. As the ball is coming, you have to analyze if it's fair or foul. So that also eats up time to your reaction because you don't
Mm.
want to touch a fair ball. And so that's something that you don't think about. Or the third base coach is like completely blocking. Yeah, that happens a lot too. And then they turn around to you like, what happened? Why didn't you play that? And I can't tell them, you're in the way.
That's what I was gonna ask is like, because obviously third base, it's a little bit more obvious if it comes over to you, right? Like if it's
Yeah,
gonna be a foul or fair ball, but when you're playing over on the right field line, that's right on the foul line.
right.
What's are you watching the umpire at that point? Like, is he you trying to see it out of the corner of your eye? Is it pretty easy to tell if it's gonna be fair or foul from where you're sitting over there?
From that side, no, it's not. And so I'll just even if it's gonna be foul, I mean, like by a few inches or a foot, like I still don't want to touch it because I don't want that alone to be questioned. Even if it was foul and a manager wants to challenge that, now you're in the middle of it. And that's what I don't want. So if it's close on that side, I literally just do this. Like I have nothing to do with it, try to get out of the way. I prefer to go chase it out of right field or to have someone, the right fielder go get it. Totally prefer that. But if I see it's going off the tarp, that's fair game. I'm like, I'm on that. That's fun. I like that one. Yeah.
So and you have a little stool, so like you have to kind of perfect the art of the stool scramble, right? Where you have to
Right.
grab that thing and like get out of the way.
Yeah,
Have you ever had it
absolutely.
the instance where like it's a fair ball coming in there and you book it out onto the field and you're like, oh crap, I went the wrong way here, or like do you have to like pre-think like, okay, if the ball comes here, I'm going to the left. Like if the ball comes here, I'm going to the right. Like, what's that
Right.
thought process like?
There's no real way to like plan for it, which is crazy. So much of it is instinct based. So the times that I do think about it, I remember one time that I did think about it. I think it was last year or the year before. And I said, okay, if the ball comes this way, based on how everyone's playing, how they're positioned on the field, I'm going to run this way, whatever that way was. And so I did that. The ball ended up coming this way towards me on the first base side. It was like a shallow pop up. So it was going to be played pretty soon. So I go according to my plan. I pick up my bucket and I turn to my right. All of a sudden, I have a train coming my way. It's Mike Trout. That's
Oh
a big
no.
dude. That's a big boy. So I just see him huffing and puffing right towards me. He I don't know if he even sees me, but he's not slowing down. He's not right. He's going to make the play. And so I remember coming face to face with him, and he's going to truck me. And so I just kind of moved to my left and sprinted the whole other direction. And he made the play. He caught it. Nothing happened. I didn't get replayed or anything for obstructing. Like it was all good. But I'll never forget that feeling of like this bulldozer is about to murder me. This guy, that's a big dude, and that's compliment. Credit to him. He is built. He's massive. So to have that running towards you, not for me.
Although it would be a pretty cool story to say that you did get run over by Mike Trout. Like of all the players, that would be pretty cool.
That would be pretty cool. I'd take that for the team.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
Yeah, with his injury history, that could potentially take him out for the year there. So you got to be careful with Mike Trout out there.
For sure.
You mentioned that particular play didn't get you any replayability, but I remember last year you actually made one play that like made the rounds. I believe it was near the end of last year, I think it was, and you had just like a highlight reel catch. Do you have any particular catches that you like save the highlight clip for, or like you look back on fondly as like, oh, this is my favorite catch I've ever made?
Yeah, I think in general, the past few years, I've really made an effort to document my time there. No, obviously, if you look at my social media, right, I take a lot of pictures and videos, and I try to like share it out with people and to share that experience. But that's to me, that's intentional. And so if I do make a cool play, I save it for sure. And my son has a little highlight reel. I'm a dad, by the way. And so he puts them together. My daughter also loves watching those. She'll show her friends. But to me, I like saving the fun ones, the tarp ones, for example. Those are cool. The unique ones, the instinct ones, those ones stand out to me. If I get a sharp line drive or ground ball hit my way, I'm not really excited by that anymore, even though it's, you make a clean play, cool, little applause. But what I will always cherish and remember is that none of us are going to make the MLB. At least the three of us in here, right?
Hey, wait a second.
We're not going to be.
I was going to say the verdict's still out. I mean,
yeah, hold on here.
I'm rooting for you. I'll be your ball boy, no problem. But I'm not making it to MLB, and so it's really cool to experience just a fraction of what these guys feel, right? As a fan, I'm a fan, and so when I make a play like that, and it's like you feel that adrenaline. That's cooking in you. That is just a crazy feeling. I think the one you might have been referring to was an ESPN game. And I remember seeing the clip afterwards. And I'm like, wow, like that was ESPN. That was like they have mics everywhere. You hear like what people are saying. There's this one lady, bless her, I appreciate her. She's like, wow, that was amazing. It just made the clip so much better. That effect was so cool. And see, things like that, yeah, I'm saving that. That's pretty cool because one day I'll look back with my kids or grandkids or whatever and just be like, yeah, that was me. That was cool. Like that was a great time. And to me, again, first and foremost is being able to share those experiences with everybody. That's why I go. I go for passion of the game. I don't go for money or a paycheck or to make MLB. Like I just go for the passion of the game.
That's awesome. Absolutely incredible. So you mentioned sort of, some of the things that stuck out to you in your job specifically, but you've been there since 2007, right? Has it been for you? What was sort of the most memorable on the field moment that you've been a part of?
So during the game or just in general?
I would say both, right? Maybe we'll do like a crazy game you were there for, and then like just in general.
I remember, all right, so there's two things that stand out from early on, two moments. One of them being, I think Mike Lowell hadn't played for a while. I don't even think it was because of injury or something. And all of a sudden they put him in the lineup, and his first at bat, he hit a home run. That to me was crazy. And I remember I was all the way up high. I was like on the pavilion level, on the right side, somewhere near home plate. And so seeing that was just so majestic, like, and feeling that energy to me. I don't know why, like that one moment of all moments there during all that time stands out to me. It just felt special. I felt like emotional for him, So to just kind of develop that connection with Fenway and the players and the culture, it's just amazing. And then the other moment, kind of around that time as well, was I might be messing up his name, but I think it's Jordan. And then is it Leandre? He was affiliated with the
No
Jimmy Fund.
way. You're not
Yeah,
gonna.
yeah.
He's one of the hosts on our podcast.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
No way. Where's he at? Let's call him. What's going
He's
on?
at Fenway, right? He's at Fenway right now, brother.
Yeah, he's going to have fun, just skipping work like that. Come on, man.
Oh, I mean, I guess so. Yeah. I said, you want to do the interview? He's like, nah, fam. I'm gonna
He's
be
like,
in
nah.
the bleachers.
Hey, I can't blame him. But Jordan, I'll never forget, and me along with everyone else, practically in tears. I don't know if he was supposed to do this or not. And I'm not talking about his first pitch. It's not that.
Oh no. Okay.
No,
Something
no,
else.
it's a little further back than that. He was being highlighted as a part of the being associated with the Jimmy Fund during the pregame ceremony. And I think he was supposed to take a few steps or run towards first, maybe, or towards somebody. And he ended up rounding all of the bases. And as he was doing that, just the place went nuts. The place went nuts. I had everything was right here for me. I couldn't believe it. I was so touched by that moment. And I've always wanted to actually like shake his hand and meet him and give him his props and tell him I'm very happy for him and that he's good, that he's healthy, that he's happy, that he's enjoying the Sox and doing his thing. And then I think he went on to have a nice little baseball career in high school or college. Because when you're in the organization, played in college, cool. You're in the organization, you hear updates like that. And to me, that moment is one of the most special moments I've ever experienced at Fenway. So shout out to him. I wish he was here, but he's in a better place right now, just holding it down.
Whoa. Crazy way to position that.
At Fenway Park.
At Fenway Park is the better place.
He's in a great
he recovered.
He's in a great space right now. So shout out to him. To me, that is one of my top moments at Fenway when he did that as a kid.
That's incredible.
We did not script that. That was great.
Yeah, that's incredible that just so happened to come up. That's wild.
Is it Jordan Leandre? Am I saying that correctly?
Yeah.
Leandre. Okay. Yeah. Tell him, man, sending love, appreciate him, and I hope to slap hands with him pretty soon.
I do have to ask about his infamous first pitch, though. Were you involved in that play?
I was not. I remember being there the day before and the day after. I had just missed it.
Yeah.
So and that's pretty classic stuff.
You would have been, played in every single highlight reel ever of worst first pitches of all time. If you were part
absolutely.
Of that.
Anytime I'm there, I try to keep my emotions or my feelings or my opinions pretty neutral. But I remember Gronk, maybe 2 or 3 years ago, coming to throw out the first pitch, and my guy warmed up. We played catch. He was stretching. He did everything. He was mentally getting ready. And then the moment came, and then he spiked it. He didn't even throw the ball. He spiked it. But I'm right there behind home plate in the background going, oh. And I'm like, oh no. And then it got picked up. I'm like, oh my God, I hope no one comes at me for that. I didn't mean to do that. You don't know what's being recorded or what's being seen when you're there. Stay ready and do the right thing. But for me, that was like one of the rare times I've had like a genuine reaction where I'm like, oh shoot. Because to me, he got us, right? The joke was on us and on me. Like we warmed him up and everything. And then he pulled that, which by the way, I think was really cool. I don't know if the grounds crew thought it was cool, but it was an amazing moment. But I remember just throwing my arms up, and that's what you see in the clip. I'm like, oh, shouldn't have done that.
It almost makes it seem staged, like your reaction to that. I do remember it's like so dramatic that you almost like, oh, they were in on it. They knew he was going to spike it. No,
I feel like someone had to know. He could have tipped us off or something. But I also remember telling people back there, hey, watch out just in case he throws it pretty hard because when he was playing catch, he's a strong dude and he's a strong dude, so just heads up. And then that happened, and I just felt in a funny way, I just felt he got me. That was pretty cool, epic moment for sure.
Now you caught the first pitch last night. I think I saw on the broadcast, right? Like,
Yeah,
uh,
correct. Yeah.
yeah, it's for the what was it the wrestling team, the college wrestling team. I think it was out there.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. And we had three coaches, I think, throughout the first pitch. Yeah.
yeah,
Which is pretty
I
cool.
saw you. I saw you on there. I was like, okay, my man's out there working hard, getting his paycheck. And I'm just curious, I guess, like, is the Gronk, you brought it up with the Gronk one, but is that the best or most memorable first pitch that you've been a part of? Or is there another one that stands out as like, oh, this one's either whether it's the person that threw it is like, this is the coolest person that I was able to meet, or whether it's just, the moment itself. Which one stands out to you the most?
Well, the ones that stand out to me is that the Red Sox internally will send out a day of game report with all the information you need to tackle that game that night with the most information possible, the most insights that you could need. It's a very well prepared sheet. But once in a while we do have surprises. And so when you arrive and you see that report, you think you're good to go, and you open the script and all of a sudden it says like Gordon Ramsay, or like, or like the president of the Dominican Republic, or like, it's like, whoa, okay, we're doing this. I think those moments are the ones that really catch me off guard, but it's just so Fenway. Like my whole time there with the organization and like the different things that I've been able to do, that is so on brand, just to make the Fenway experience as special as possible, full of surprises, full of the bells and whistles. Going to Fenway is an experience. It is more about than just the product on the field, which for me as a fan, like I always want to see succeed. But going to Fenway, you see people who go to Fenway just to go to Fenway, just to be able to be at Fenway and say they've done that. They don't know baseball sometimes, or they're visiting from Japan. They've only seen it on TV. So it's a pretty unique melting pot when you go to Fenway. And then of course you've got the hardcore fans, which do an excellent job of holding it down and making noise. But when you're hit with those surprises, it's like, wow, like that's so cool to be able to work with these people who are all of a sudden folks that you're interacting with on a very human level that you may have seen in other places on TV or in movies or doing cool things in the community. So I would say, to answer the question, yeah, that's a great question. I've never been asked that. I think that, there was one time I was helping out, and this is not as a ball attendant. I was there as extra hands, and I remember being positioned in the tunnel in the Red Sox dugout to assist with this ceremony. And what it was, I'm trying to remember, some sort of, it might have been the 100-year celebration or something like that.
Mm.
And I remember looking up behind me and seeing all the groupings through the tunnel being different generations of Red Sox stars all standing together. Whoa, my mind was blown. But you have to, like, you've been there, right? You got to act like
Yeah.
cool, professional. But the fan in me was like, this is insane. Like, this is the stuff that no one gets to see or experience or be near. It's very unique. You need to absorb it, appreciate it, keep it moving, and be a professional. But I'll never forget that moment, like seeing every grouping of the different Red Sox eras of teams standing in line like kids about to go to lunch. That is like, what? Mind blowing. I'll never forget that. Never forget that. And to me, I'm a 90s kid. So seeing a lot of those guys come back as well, and that was pretty cool. Um, and then you've got folks like, sometimes for me, I don't really get FOMO, but I do realize, like, dang, this person I really wanted to meet happened to go, like, I've been there like 3 days straight, and then they went on the fourth day that I wasn't there. Shoot.
Oh, of
So
course.
like last year, it was Casey Affleck and Matt Damon, and they're from
Mm.
Cambridge, and we have a lot of mutual friends, and even teachers that taught them that taught me as well. And like, there's always been this track record of like, hold on, like, how have I like not met these guys before? Same with Ben Affleck. And every time they're there, it's when I'm not there, or every time there's opportunities to meet those guys, say hello and introduce myself. like at functions around the city or through mutual friends. I can't make it. And so I remember that being one that I was like, oh, I just missed it again, man. Yeah.
That was the one that made it into the Netflix doc too, that visit.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. They did that. Yeah.
Alex
Netflix
Cora
doc.
didn't know.
Have you guys watched it?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
What do you think? Be honest.
I loved it. I was a big fan of it. I thought it was unbelievably cool to get the background of everything because it always sometimes, especially when you're watching 162 games, the players themselves, to a lot of people, they just start to feel, either numbers on the page or just these superheroes. You forget they're just humans. And so I think it's cool to get that perspective of, Bayo, with his fiance or a wife and kid not being able to come up and seeing that affect them personally. I thought that was really cool.
Yeah. I agree.
Yeah, I felt like the storylines of just like the access of seeing, the front office meeting that, Breslow's having around the trade deadline, the spring training conversations of like, hey, you're not making the team right now, but we're definitely going to use you during the year. Those type of conversations and shots I think was awesome to see. And, obviously it would have been really, really cool to see it being an ongoing show just about the Red Sox every year. But, for what it was, like the first of its kind, I think it was definitely a very, very, very cool show.
Absolutely. I had this little like wish that I know won't happen because it's pretty unrealistic. That Netflix is wrapped already. They did the documentary. They did a great job, I think, and they've moved on to other stuff. But I'm like, I have this little dream that we'll get like a bonus episode dropped about this season. That would be amazing.
That would
An
be actually
encore.
pretty cool.
That would be amazing. Yeah. Because I agree with both of you. It's cool to see the human side. And people get really caught up with the paper stuff on the names on the paper and the stuff on the field. They're human, just like us. And you saw a prime example of that with Jaron Duran.
Yeah.
It would have been that was pretty impactful stuff from the Duran episode. Obviously, that was crazy. And I'm just thinking through like if they kept it going, just seeing this off season, like the winter meetings to have the cameras there when Craig Breslow, pulls the trigger on the Garrett Crochet trade, like that would have been like insane to see. Or like, could they have captured the moment of like when they decided to sign Alex Bregman and what is that like, and just so many options. But I did obviously this season something special did happen this past weekend, which was the Red Sox unveiled the new City Connects, the Green Monster jerseys. What are your thoughts on the new City Connects? Were you able to play in the game? I'm going to say play because I feel like even though you're working, I feel like you're playing in the game. Were you able to play in the game with the City Connects? And if not, what's your thoughts on the jersey so far?
So, I mean, I'll answer the question, but when you saw the leak, what did you think?
When I first saw the leak, I was in the people that was kind of like, I need to see the rest of the jersey first because it didn't have the yellow letters on it. So I was, at the time I was like, all right, it's way better than a lot of other teams' jerseys, I feel. And it feels Red Sox. It's not like blowing my mind amazing, but the first thought was like, it could be a lot worse. So I was kind of just in that like mid-range for it. Once I saw the yellow highlights there, definitely grew on me a lot. And I like the numbers in the back are pretty sick too.
Yeah.
What about you, Corbin?
Oh, sorry.
Sorry,
I didn't realize I was up. Yeah, I agree. I thought the leak was it was like a classic cool look, but it was a little underwhelming. And you saw it in person, it's like, okay, yeah, you understand it. Like watching Crochet walk out in those jerseys, you're like, yeah, okay, I could buy about 30 of these, I think.
Yeah, so I was pretty lucky to be able to work that game where we unveiled them and wore them for the first time, and it definitely felt like something special, like a gift. Like, whoa, like we're doing this. This is awesome. When I saw the leak, I didn't know what to believe. I didn't allow myself to hate it or love it, and I just said it couldn't be. But then one by one, as all the leaks came true, like I don't know who this person is that did that. some kind of disgruntled employee or what. But I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, that's most likely going to be it then. And when I saw it in person, I instantly fell in love. I instantly loved it. And I remember scanning inning by inning, and you saw more and more of that green monster green on the hats and the jerseys and the shirts. People were just making sure to gear up and were excited for it. I remember when the yellow one came out. To me, it took a little bit. It grew on me a bit. I at first, I appreciated it and I liked it. And then when I realized what the significance of it was, like the lettering and the colors, you kind of like have to love it, right? You're like, oh yeah. No, I'm on board, totally, 100%, right? And we've learned to really embrace them because of the meaningfulness behind it. But these ones, just like aesthetically, they've hit the mark. They've really hit the mark. They feel like Fenway. They're very prideful. It's our green. It's just like super Boston. It really is. And I know they say Red Sox. They don't say Boston this time around. But the Green Monster is Boston. That's right. Culturally, that's us. So I think we did a great job with that. Nike, whoever developed the look. I'm a fan. I love the socks as well. I did realize that a lot of the players went with the long pants that day, and so some folks saw the socks I was wearing as like a first time, and I thought that was cool too that we did that because I typically wear the long pants as well. But that day, I wanted to make sure that we were showing right the pride in the new uniform. And yeah, I'm a fan. I hope it sticks for years to come. I will say personally, the red uniform is one of my favorites. I hope to see that come back one day. And I know it's not really, the teams that have to be the bad guy to remove certain uniforms because you have to fit in, right? You can only have so many.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens because now all the uniforms we have, including those and the blue ones that went away, like they're all beautiful. They're all great uniforms and classic uniforms. And now what do? We have all these amazing uniforms. So it's going to be interesting how we move forward.
Yeah,
I will say we didn't play too hot in the Fenway Reds last year on a Friday night, so
Yeah.
probably a good thing to take a break from those for a little bit. But
Yeah. No, we'll see where that goes, and hopefully the green will breathe some life. And when we rock the yellows, I know we have a pretty good record as well. But yeah, that was cool. Moments like that, those are things I remember. More than plays, more than anything. Like I'll always remember interactions, special interactions. I'll remember being able to wear a certain uniform, like in this case, for the first time. I remember more the things that I could have done better or where I've messed up. Like recently, the Cody Clemens home run, right? Blasted it. Beautiful home run. His dad is in the house, which I did not know. And I'm the ball attendant that day. And I always keep an eye out to make sure that if a fan is going to throw a ball back, I'm going to get it off the field as quickly as possible. So when that ball was ultimately thrown back onto the field, that right was the perfect prime moment to get Cody his ball to get get whoever wanted that baseball back into the dugout. And I chucked it back into the stands the other way just to keep the game moving. I didn't know it was his first Fenway home run. I was not aware. I didn't know his dad was there. I didn't know that they would have wanted the ball. And to me, it was just business as usual. And I regret that. I wish I was a bit more self-informed about how special that was potentially going to be. So they did end up tracking the ball down. I remember I had like 5 security guards come up to me within a few minutes of me chucking the ball away. They're like, "Do you remember where you threw it or where it landed?" No, somewhere over there, like 30 rows up. That was my answer. Like over there somewhere, not like, "Hey, that guy with the white," or no, it was like, "Good luck. Sorry." And then I learned after the game. Yeah.
Wasn't
I
like the
saw the
little girl in the
replay.
front row, right? It was, you
No,
had
that would
to
have
be
been
the one
easy.
that you, yeah.
Right. And this is the second time I've done that. And so when I saw the replay of the home run, I was just scrolling through my social media. It was a mammoth home run. It was beautiful, nice swing. He deserved to have his moment. It was beautiful. His dad is cheering him on. And I remember seeing in one of those clips, Roger going, which was one of my favorite players growing up, and I probably let him down there. Ball, ball, ball. You see him saying that because he saw the ball get thrown back onto the field. It's like the ball. And then you kind of just see him go, oh, because I threw it back. So I'm like, no. So I felt really bad about that. I felt terrible. I still do, but I'm very happy to hear that they got the ball back. And again, that's my second time. So I'm going to try to do better with that.
Speaking of holding on to anything, you've been there for a ton of great moments. Has there been a part of you that's like, hey, maybe I just throw this one in the back pocket? And if you have, is there anything you've taken for like I don't know.
I mean, working there and being around it, especially after all these years, you do come across some pretty cool things, and you are privy to, some nice keepsakes and mementos. I do have a baseball case in my house downstairs from where I am right now, and every time I find a cool ball to add to the baseball case, it's in the shape of like home plate. It gets harder and harder to pick which one to take out. I hate that. I hate bringing a cooler ball home that I need to go in there because then I have to struggle for like 2 hours. It drives my wife crazy. Which one to take out and put into a drawer. So they're all pretty worthy. It's tough right now. So that's one thing I do, collect. I like special baseballs. I love the World Baseball Classic. I'm huge into international baseball. I love it. I think that's the future, especially with, given what the NHL did recently. That's the new wave right now, and that's the future. I think that is sports on the global stage is finally really being embraced outside of just the Olympics, and I love that. I'll fly out to all the Caribbean series, the World Baseball Classics down in Miami. Like I'm like I have to. I need to be there. Like that energy, like the best game I've ever been to in my life, the most hype game I've been to in my life was Venezuela versus DR in the World Baseball Classic. That to me was insane. Insane. I loved it more than any World Series I've been to. Playoff games, wild card games, like that one game is my number one, and that wasn't even the finals. So I do have a lot of cool things. I try to make a play. I'm looking up at a picture I have on the wall here with Dustin Pedroia and JBJ from the parade, and the picture is of us holding that championship parade that Triple H from WWE sent. And I remember I was the one tasked with holding it on the duck boat and just kind of taking good care of it. And the players I was with didn't really want it until Dustin Pedroia remembered. He's like, "Oh, the belt," and he got it from me and he put it on. I didn't win that championship; they did. So I'm like, yeah, right here. And then never saw it again. He kept it. I think that went home with him. And I reminded him of that. I'm like, "Where's my belt?" So I think last season he was in here for at Fenway, not here. I'm home at Fenway for a pregame ceremony. Yeah, he was just here. Yeah, we're just talking about the belt.
Yeah.
But I'm like, "Where's my belt? I was on the boat with you, and I forgot my belt that day. I think you have it."
Yeah.
So that's cool. I wish I had that. That's pretty unique. But at least I have the picture. Yeah, a lot of cool things. Yep. It drives my wife crazy. Sometimes things got to go, and I'll bring it to my mom's house or something, or give it to my brother. But yeah, I do have a lot of cool things for sure.
We gotta get you a new case. I think you might need you got home plate. Maybe we start with first base, and we get second base, third base.
True.
I need to get
that approved. Yeah. Yeah, we'll have to run that by the wife and see how that goes. But no, it's cool. It's cool. I'm looking around to see if there's anything handy I can show you, but no, not here. But I'm always on the lookout. I think the coolest things to keep that I don't know what to do with yet are my jerseys after each season. Like those are really nice, especially. Yeah. So like we'll switch out logos or jersey materials, right? Or Fanatic might do something different. So we always have to match what the players are wearing. And so I think like the coolest ones I have like the 42 on the back from Jackie Robinson Day, or the jerseys from last year with the Wakefield patch on with the heart. Those are pretty cool. The Patriots Day ones where I say Boston. So I have like this really cool collection that I just need a man cave. I gotta go and just buy a big house and have a man cave and put all this stuff up.
And you need Dustin Pedroia to come over. That's what I'm hearing.
And when he does, I'll make sure you guys get the invite.
I appreciate that. Yeah.
I will be there as soon as humanly possible.
Perfect. I got you. I know where to find you, Red Sea Radio.
That's right. What so you mentioned that you were that must have been the 2018 parade where you no, the 13 parade where you had the belt. Were you, is
18.
it
That was
3
almost
parades? Oh, that was 18. Were you
yeah.
able to be a part of 3 different parades as an employee, or like how many of the parades were you able to be in?
So yeah, I have been in all three. It's pretty cool.
Oh.
The first one though, the first one being my first season in '07, we won. That was amazing. And by the way, you asked me if I have anything cool from Fenway. It's the rings, 100%.
Mm.
Oh,
Like to see that,
oh
that is
yeah.
my pride and joy. That is just like, wow, I could stare at that for weeks at a time. Like, wow, this is mine. I didn't play, right? But I'm around. I'm, blood, sweat, and tears as well for my tiny slice of the pie. So it's amazing to be affiliated with this thing that I idolized growing up, and to see my last name etched onto the ring is amazing, just amazing to me. So the first year I started, 2007, we won. I don't have a ring from that. What I got from that year, which I'm very appreciative for, is a watch, and it's a custom watch. It has got the logo, championship, all that, and it's got a trophy on it, my name on the back, and other cool little details. And then I got a ring 2013, 2018. So I'm a dad again. I've mentioned that already twice. I have 3 kids, and so I'm really hoping for a third ring before season 20, which is next season. And that for me would be ideal,
Mm.
to just hang it up, walk away my own way.
Mm.
Um, we'll see. But I got sidetracked there. What was the question?
I don't know. Do we even
Um,
have one? Oh, you
I was
did.
about
Yeah.
the parades. I was just
The
asking how
parade,
many
right, right,
parades
right.
you were a part of.
So apologize for that. Thank you for reminding me. Okay, so in '07, what happened was I was a day of game employee. I wasn't really in the office yet. And I remember arriving for parade day as an employee, just was asked to come and assist if whatever was needed. And I showed up super young. How old was I in '07? I think like I was hired at like right at 18. Like the month of my hire date and my orientation, all that was like the same week that I turned 18.
Oh,
And
wow.
yeah, so literally my whole adult life has been spent at Fenway, a good portion of of that time. And uh, I remember one of the like really cool old school security guards who no longer works there. He was really up there, but we had a good relationship. He told me, "Go, go, run." And he's pointing at the last duck boat to leave. It's already driving up the street and about to turn the corner. And I'm standing at gate D. And I'm like, no way. What? I'm still like stalling, trying to process what he's saying. I don't know if he's joking or not. And he said, go. And he like nudged me. And I don't know why he was looking out for me and not like everyone else who was standing around. He like urged me and pushed me to go chase that last duck boat and get on it. Just fate, fate. And so I ran after it like a madman. And I was just okay with losing my job as long as I get to experience that parade as an 18-year-old, as someone who grew up, a huge Red Sox fan. And so I ran after it. I climbed up. I could have been anyone, but the people on that duck boat reached their hand out and helped me in. So I was pretty lucky that they didn't push me out or tell me no.
Wow.
And they then realized, yeah, that I'm affiliated. But I got to experience that duck boat, pretty much had it just for me, and got that experience. I have amazing pictures from that too, and I'll never forget that parade and seeing the waves of people. Like, wow, that's just insane. Like they just look like drawings of like just waves and waves of people and colors and logos and stuff. It's just such a unique perspective, and confetti going around, and like it's raining nips and, and and Bud Lights, and just gotta watch out. Um, that to me was special. And then something I'll never forget about that one year in particular, it didn't happen in 13 or 18, thankfully. But I would then kind of like just get really comfortable and work up the crowd, and it would work. But there were certain patches too, in particular, who started chanting, "Who are you? Who are you?" And that was hilarious. I gave them that. I'm like, "Oh, that's good. That's good."
That's
So I
funny.
was
It
pretty
happened twice.
twice,
Yeah.
twice in that one parade. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, that's funny.
yeah. So yeah, I've been very lucky, very blessed, and I have the streak going. And we'll see what the future holds for another championship. I'm just super grateful to still be around it all and to just help make Fenway as happy as it can be for anyone.
Do they?
It's a really
Are you?
awesome thing, isn't it?
It really is like you growing up a fan of the team and then being able to work for the team, right? Like I didn't really even understand that about you when I was asking, the initial question of your background. I half expected it to be like, hey, I grew up a Phillies fan and I went to college here and I just, got my first job working at Fenway or I knew somebody, right? And I to hear like, yeah, I grew up like a Red Sox fan right down the road. And Pedro Martinez was my favorite player. And like that's just super cool. And I think that passion comes through like in just the way you talk about the fan interactions and, just wanting to create those experiences. And, you can tell you're passionate about what you do. And you obviously love your job, which is awesome to see. And, you could tell it's not just an act that you're putting on like that. This is something that you genuinely love to do. So I think that's super cool. And, really, really glad that we've been able to get to know you a little bit more and hear more about your story. I know we're getting on an hour, so I don't want to take up, too much more of your time. But I do have a
Cool.
couple of like quick, maybe
Take your
not
time.
quick.
I'm
I don't
chilling.
know,
No,
but
we're good. That
I
flew. That
got
hour flew.
I mean, you work in a ballpark for a living. Do you got to have like some type of a favorite ballpark food? If so, what is it? And is there any like ballpark food over the last 20 years that you're like, I really wish that they would bring this back or they still had this?
Yeah, actually, yeah. When I was little going to Fenway, I remember the fries being just the way I like them. They're different now. No judgment. They're different. Not my style
Yes.
of fries, but the fries I had growing up at Fenway were like super seasoned. They were really like brown, like like that, like restaurant style. They definitely had like some sort of Cajun on it or something. I can see how that wouldn't be for everyone, right? As as times have evolved, but that's the one thing I miss. I try to stay away from eating ballpark food. Actually, I eat one meal a day in general. Really, I just
Oh,
kind of eat
really?
at dinner. Yeah, on game days, I don't drink anything for obvious reasons. A few hours before the game starts, especially coffee.
Mm.
So that's one little routine I have. Because people say all the time, "Wow, you have a great job, best view in the house, you have a great seat." I'm like, "No, you do. You have a better seat than me. You get the bathroom, you get food, you get drinks, you can go and get a blanket. You do it up. I can't do any of that. I'm just always
I
just
was
on alert."
Wow, I was wondering about that actually. Like it's one of those things you don't really think about, but it's like what happens if there's like an emergency in the middle of the game? Like you're just
Yeah.
stuck out there.
The only hope if you have an emergency, which I'm good having, I'm okay so far, so good. But the first base side does have a bathroom right there at Canvas Alley.
Mm.
But then you're like, you're in full uniform, just kind of going through. Oh, excuse me, just kind of just need to use the bathroom real quick. That's a little weird, but it's it's a good time. It's a good time. Just got to plan accordingly. That's what I try to do.
Imagine my surprise when I was inside the Monster and I found out there was no bathroom in there. Like,
I know.
what
Yeah,
a
same
missed
with them.
opportunity.
Definitely, yeah, and people thought Manny was going in there to use the bathroom. I mean, I hope he wasn't because
Yeah.
there's no bathroom, but yeah, they don't have a bathroom. Credit to them, kudos. That yeah, yeah. That Fenway, that's the beautiful part about it is I think in a way like what we don't have. That's what makes it unique. That's what gives it character. We don't have a state of the art stadium. Like it's Fenway, and that's why people flock to it.
Agreed.
Yeah, it's incredible.
Okay.
Well,
So I've been thinking about asking this the entire time. I don't know how much you can actually get into, but do you have a favorite team or like personality that has played either with the Red Sox or maybe an opponent that you've interacted with over the course of the 20 years?
Yeah, I have this. I hope this is received well. One of my favorite people in the game is Laz Diaz, the umpire. He
Up with
is
tonight.
he's umping tonight. He's behind home plate, right?
Oh yeah, sure is.
He
Oh,
is one
yeah.
of my favorite human beings in the game. He's funny. He's just very human about how he sees things, how he talks, how he interacts. And I'm lucky that I get to interact with him, right, as a person, even though it's on the field, but we are just very respectful and in sync with one another, especially both being Latino. Um, he's a great guy. He's one of my favorite people in the league. I know you were probably looking for a player, but Laz Diaz, I just want to make sure I mention, like, give him his flowers. He is just a really kind, generous, good human. Last night we had a funny moment. A ball was hit off just past the Red Sox dugout and almost ricocheted onto the field. And I realized he really does like the troll. He enjoys it. He has fun with it, right? The way I have fun with my job, he has his fun with his. He's always animated. He's always talking. Right? He's always going. If you keep an eye on him, you'll see that. But he told me, "Stay right there. I got this ball." Okay, I was already like halfway there, jogging, and I turned around. But something told me to just kind of like keep an eye on it, like I do the balls that might get thrown back. And I did that. Then he winds up to throw the ball into the crowd, right near first. He's like, nah. And he chucks it back to me. And the place just started booing him like crazy. That was hilarious. That was really funny. And he just kept going like this to the crowd, like, nah. So he's you guys watched wrestling?
A little bit.
Not really.
A little bit.
Not much.
No, but do you know what a heel is?
Yeah.
A heel is the bad guy.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So I feel like Laz, like that to me confirmed it. Like he likes to be the heel. Like that's fun. Being the heel is fun. You get to be the bad guy, but you have fun with it and you joke, you laugh. And it's all just very good mannered stuff. I like that he brings himself to the game, to work. So I admire that a lot about Laz Diaz. Players wise, yeah, it is cool to be able to like walk by Shohei Ohtani or Mookie Betts or Mike Trout. I am a huge Tatis fan. I do own other jerseys. I'm not a jersey guy, but I do for some reason just like having jerseys on my rotation on my in my closet. So I have a Tatis Padres jersey. I've got a few Miami jerseys. We go to Miami a lot. We have a property down there, so I get to be in that community a lot. Uh, I think that being a fan of baseball is okay, and rooting for baseball to be fun is really what the ultimate goal should be. I root for good baseball. I do root for other teams. Red Sox will always be number one, but the way I grew up was having an NL team and an AL team. So you got the Red Sox, and then for me, that was the Dodgers. Now the Dodgers have kind of turned into something else, and I've adopted the Padres. Yeah, I've adopted the Padres because they've got like the same kind of thing we've had going on historically. And San Diego is also a place that's very near to us and dear to our hearts. We spend a ton of time over there and go multiple times a year as a family. So we've kind of grown with their rise as well. It's kind of coincided, which is pretty cool. Like literally during the whole rise of Tatis, and that's why I root for other teams. If you ever see that, it's because there's some sort of personal connection there, and I am a fan of the game. It's okay to cross the lines of just your team. That's okay. And that's why I approach the job the way I do. I have fun with it. I am constantly scanning for kids because I feel like for a while there was great concern about the next generation not being really into baseball, right? Growing the game. And now we have a whole new set of stars that are coming up that are like going to be like it. And I'm excited about that. And kids are like so in tune with what's happening right now. Baseball is just on fire at the moment.
Yeah, there's a lot of young talent. It's really cool to see.
Absolutely.
Go ahead, Matt. Sorry. I'm going to ask a
Oh, no,
question.
you're good.
Lost it as I was speaking, so please go ahead.
I was gonna say I really want to get a Jackson Merrill jersey with like the there what is it, like the dark the gray ones with the stripes. No, they're not gray. What color are they? It's like the pinstripe Padres jerseys that are their light
Oh, the
color.
brown with yellow stripes?
The dark brown?
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know if it's a dark brown, but it's definitely the
Oh,
ones that has the yellow stripes. I think it's like their away jerseys or something, but either
yeah,
way,
yeah, yeah.
uh, definitely
Yeah,
wanna add one of those to my collection.
he's cool. Yeah, I like Jackson Merrill. That's like he's the future. That's huge. That's a great piece to have on your team.
Yeah,
I
for
told this
sure.
story on the Pesky Report a couple of weeks ago, but I also ordered a Bobby Witt Jr. jersey, in the,
Nice.
throwback royal baby blue, and, they sent me MJ Melendez instead, so a Red Sox killer instead of Bobby Witt Jr. I couldn't believe my luck.
I hope you could return it. Could you exchange it?
No, I didn't, I just said, "You know
No, you
what?
just
Screw
kept
it."
it.
I got a MJ Melendez jersey, and now he's in AAA, so it's a great time.
Oh man, look at that.
Yeah, yeah,
Oh wow.
yeah.
Yeah,
As soon
yeah.
as he
No,
got sent down, I
ultimately,
was like, "Yes."
yeah, of course. Ultimately, it's just cool to see these like mega superstars just on a human level. They're just you're just grounded right there with them, and that to me is my favorite part. Just being privy to their human side. I like that.
That's a great answer.
Um, I'll, give you another 30 seconds or here to think about your question again there, Corbin, but, the last question I have, before, like, we close it out from my end, is there a favorite fan interaction? We've talked a lot about your, player interactions or moments you've been a part of on the field, but is there any particular moment that stands out as like this interaction with this fan is like the moment that defines my career, whether it was your first one or just anything special that stands out there?
Not one in particular, to be honest, but the ones that do stand out to me is that when I'm aware or am made aware that there might be a kid with special needs sitting nearby or even up a few rows, that to me becomes the ultimate goal to get them a ball. And if I can't, I'll give them like my towel or something. Just I want you to leave with something, right? Something tangible. So that I have kind of, I feel like stepped a little out of bounds, but I do it as quickly as possible, which is literally to go hand deliver, like run up, hop the wall, and go up a few rows to give it to that kid to make sure they receive it and get it from me. That to me is like the ultimate interaction I can have is taking care of our young fans with special needs. So I am so appreciative to have the platform for moments like that.
That's
That's
an
awesome.
awesome. Yeah, that's it. I mean, I don't. Do I want to give a follow up question? I don't know. That feels like a good place to end. like I
Yeah,
have
no,
mine.
go
I
feel
have
free.
mine. My
Yeah,
last
yeah, go.
question, the one I
Yeah.
forgot, and then just happened to remember as you were speaking was you mentioned Petco Park, or at least San Diego. Is there a stadium if you weren't at Fenway that you'd want to be a ball attendant for?
Petco Park.
It would be. That place is
I
awesome.
would, yeah, I would love to wear the Padres uniform. That is so cool. Like, wow. Or if there's any Photoshop people out there, like, I would love to see what that looks.
I'll hook it up. I'll
Like.
get you.
Hey, night.
I'll get you something.
Hey, awesome, awesome. I appreciate it. I won't forget. I won't forget.
I'll
That is
remember.
that is yeah, yeah. That's something that secretly I'm like, you know what? Like we had kind of like thought about, okay, we're pretty over the winters here. I loved it growing up, but it's not for me anymore. So like maybe one day we could kind of make our way out there. Right. And also maybe I could switch uniforms and do that over there.
Mhm.
And I'm like, I wonder if that's been done before. I'm sure it has, but I don't know. It's not really out there like that to have been a ball attendant, been a ball boy for different teams. Uh, and then we had a ball attendant, Lauren, who had been with us for many years and killed it out here, move back to San Diego. She is from there originally, so she went back home and she became a ball girl for the Padres. So I'm like, she beat me to it. That is amazing. That's awesome. But
Wow.
some teams are very particular with what they're looking for in ball attendants. They might hire just one gender or one, like it just, it's different. Yep, yep.
I didn't know
And
that.
actually, yeah, for the Red Sox, and this is just coincidence. I am the only male ball attendant at the moment,
Really?
but our team of ball attendants are amazing. amazing, and they get it. They get it. Our current crop is just top notch.
I'm glad that you go by ball attendant and not like ball boy or ball girl, because that just feels, it feels not as professional or anything like that. That ball attendant, Uh,
Yeah.
what is it, bat attendant? Is that the other position, or are they actually called bat boy,
Yeah, I think they're the
bat
bat
girl?
boy. But honestly, but the official title is not bat boy. I think that they are like assistant clubhouse manager or something like that, and then they just happen to perform that duty that everyone knows as bat boy,
Oh.
right?
Oh,
So
okay, I
because
see.
they do a little more than that, right? Just like we do. We don't just get foul balls. They don't just run after bats, right? They actually have some functions that they need to complete and are tasked with before the game that are very important. But yeah, no, I know I say ball attendant sometimes. That is my preferred term for referring to the position, but it trips people up. They don't know what that is. Just something about it, like it just doesn't click sometimes for people. And you got to say, "Oh, ball boy," like, "Oh, okay, yeah." So it's whatever. I've learned to accept it. It's all good.
Probably fits a little better when you're 19 years old or 20 years old,
Right,
and now you're like, I've been doing this job for 20 years. Like, I'm a ball
right.
man. Okay.
Ball
Like,
man. Yeah.
Yeah, there we
yeah.
And
go.
some of the regulars will correct other people like ball man, like I respect them. Like it's okay. So yeah, like ball man, like I feel like if you say ball man, I feel old now. So I don't
Mm,
know. I don't know which one to want. But ball
Yeah, no,
attendant, yeah,
ball
that's
was
the
my
official title.
father.
Yeah,
the sweet spot.
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So
All right,
it's a
man.
good
Well,
time.
well, thank you so much for taking time out of your day off. I know that you probably have, like you said, you're a father, you got kids, your wife. You could be spending time with them, but instead you're talking about your job with a bunch of guys over the internet. So we appreciate that and your passion for everything. I guess I'll leave the floor to you just to kind of close it out, and just say, like, like my I guess the final thoughts or question here is, like, what's the best part of working for the Red Sox for you? And I'll let you kind of close it out with that.
I appreciate that. I think that it's just advice. Like if you're told that you're not needed for something that you really want to do, keep around whatever it is that makes you happy. Stay around it, stay connected to it. Eventually, if you want it and you work hard and you show that you can do a decent job, you will get what you've earned. I won't say rewarded, but I feel like if you want something, there's always a way to earn it. I want people to know also that when I'm at Fenway, when I'm wearing the uniform, that to me is seen as a privilege. It's an honor. It's something that I make my mission to share with people. So if you're there, I want to connect. I want to say hi. I want to get to know you. And it's all about sharing that experience. Anything cool that I get to do, I want to share that with the people around me, with people who are coming from a long way with their hard-earned money and are going to enjoy that one night of the year, maybe. To me, that's what it's about. It's about having people leave with a smile, win or lose. So I want to keep creating moments, and I can't do this forever. So I'm very thankful that I get to do this. I don't take the platform for granted, but I want people to know if there's anything I can share is that being told no is just the first step of the process.
That's super inspirational, man. Like, this has been awesome. Awesome to hear you. You guys can find Luis at Fenway Park most days of the week, probably. We never asked you that. Like, how many games? Like, is it like every couple of games you're in or you're off? Like, what's that look like?
Yeah, no, I do a good handful a month, which shout out to the wife. She lets me do that. She knows that I love being there, and it's something that I've really just had ingrained in my DNA since childhood, and then now my adulthood on a different level and from a different angle. So I appreciate her for that support. But yeah, a good handful a month is what I do. I tend to be there a little less during the summertime because then our softball players are a a little more available than they were at the beginning of the Red Sox season and at the end of the Red Sox season because of what they have going on. But that's really the gist of it. And I'm hoping to check out some games. I haven't been to a game to enjoy the fan in years. So that's one of my
Wow.
goals for this year. I want to go and enjoy.
That's awesome. And so yeah, you guys can find him at Fenway Park, track him down. He'll get you a ball, and make your kids' memories come true. And obviously Corbin, long time guest on here, multiple times now, but you can find him at Red Seat Radio on the YouTubes, on the Twitter, and all the social media platforms, doing amazing job pumping out Red Sox content on the daily. And then, of course, we're Pesky Report, brought to you by Beyond the Monster. We appreciate you for tuning in this long, and we will see you next time. Go Sox.